Do you want to stay more focused on the right goals in your life, or even just figure out what the right goals are for you? Do you want clarity? Do you want better work-life balance? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Success Through Failure.
Welcome to the Success Through Failure podcast, the show that reveals failure as your path to success. You'll listen to intriguing interviews with some of the most successful people on the planet and learn how their failures became a launchpad for success and how yours can too. Here's your host, former Division I All-American wrestler, former Division I head coach, speaker, and personal coach, Jim Harshaw.
Welcome to another episode of Success Through Failure. This is your host, Jim Harshaw, bringing you a solo episode today. And if you've ever felt like you've gone through the day, you've gotten 100 things done at 100 miles an hour, but you've not gotten anything accomplished, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to feel accomplished and have that meaningful, accomplished feeling at the end of your day. You know, if you ever felt like you just busy all day long, but not getting any closer to your goals and living the life you want, or if you ever feel like you just hustle, but you're not moving the needle, that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, this may be in one particular area of your life, maybe at work, maybe at home with your family, or in your health, or in your personal goals, or in your fun goals, or more likely it's in multiple areas, right? Not just one of these, but in a lot of different areas. That's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to attack today, because I've felt like that too. But I've learned systems and strategies, and I've developed my own that help me and help my clients. And you're going to walk away from this episode with tactics and action items that are going to help you get more done, get through your day, and by the end of the day, feel more accomplished. So that's what we're after in this episode. So if you like what you're hearing, keep listening. If you like this episode, at the end, give it a share, please. My podcast has grown about 60% over the course of 2018, which I'm pretty stoked about. And that's just really from you. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for telling people about the Success Through Failure podcast. That is how this thing grows. So please continue to share. Just tell one other person, right? Just tell one other person. Tell your boss, tell a colleague, tell a family member, tell somebody else you know who likes to read personal development books and really wants to maximize their life. Just tell one other person if you could. Just shoot them a text. Hey, check out jimharshawjr.com/180 for this episode, for example, or a favorite episode you might have. But anyway, they can go to jimharshawjr.com, where they can just find it on whether iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, Google Play. They can just search for my name and they'll find it. So anyway, thank you for sharing. And as always with these episodes, I'm going to have the action plan. Just go to jimharshawjr.com/action. Get your copy of the action plan so you get the cliff notes and the tactics, so you don't have to try to remember everything you learned here, but you'll be able to actually put it into practice, because you're going to have the cliff notes. You're going to have what they call, I guess these days, the spark notes for this episode. So first, I just want to talk real briefly about episode 178. That was the episode that I recorded about my late brother-in-law, who passed away tragically, unexpectedly in December 7th. Just rocked all of our worlds, especially my sister and her 3 sweet young children. But I recorded an episode. Actually, it's already one of my most listened to episodes of all time. People loved it. I'm just so thankful to hear that, because that means other people are benefiting. I benefited from just getting to know him and living life alongside him. And then in his death, just learned so much more about him, really, through people at work and just meeting so many more friends and family, and just the impact that he had on the world. Just awesome. And I'm so excited that more people are getting to learn and hear about him. So you can check it out. Episode 178, jimharshawjr.com/178, or 178 on your favorite podcast player. And the other thing I want to tell you about is I'm headed to Mexico. I am headed to Mexico with my family. So this is our first trip. All 4 kids, the whole Harshaw crew, we're rolling deep. The whole lot of us are heading to Mexico. Got our passports. That's a whole process in itself. And we're headed to Cancun, and then we're going to drive down to Playa del Carmen, and spend part of the time down there. We're going to be gone for 8 days total, so I'm pretty excited about that. Scuba diving. I haven't been scuba diving in like 10 or 12 years. Oh my goodness, I haven't been diving. And we're going to snorkel. We're going to go to a cenote. We're going to do all the good stuff that you can do down there. So pretty excited. This has been something we've been working towards for a long time. And my wife and I love to travel. We actually met working for a company called Trek America, and we led adventure camping tours. That's what we did. After college, I decided to hang up the wrestling shoes and do something different. So actually the first trip I took was a 3-month backpacking trip, solo backpacking just down through Central America. Just took buses, literally chicken buses from town to town through Central America, through Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Belize, and just did a big round trip excursion by myself, met up with some friends along the way in a couple different places, and just met tons of great people along the way. And I met a girl down there who had a cool job she had told me about in America, working for this company called Trek America. Anyway, I wrote the number down, got back to the States after my excursion in Europe. After that, I looked up that number. Long story short, got a job. First day of the job, met my wife. My future wife, met Allie. And so that's how we met. So we love doing these kind of trips. We went for 15 days to Brazil on our honeymoon, which was just incredible. We had the first night booked in Copacabana, and the rest of it was just winging it. We just went from town to town on buses and figured it out as we went to some really, really cool adventures there. We went hang gliding over Rio, and I went scuba diving, and we did a lot of cool stuff. And then we went to Croatia. Allie was pregnant. We were in Croatia. And then when Jesse was born, my oldest, our first child, he was 18 months whenever we went to Costa Rica. And then we haven't really we haven't traveled overseas at all since. So this is our first trip out of the country, and we're taking the whole crew. So pretty excited to get back to our adventuresome roots. It's snowing and cold in Charlottesville, so this will be a fun trip to kind of get back to our roots. On to today's episode and the topic here. So how to feel more accomplished at the end of your day. So first things first, you've got to hit the pause button, right? I go through Reveal Your Path, my program, every year. And whenever you do this kind of deep work, it sets you up to have productive days, right? So you have to do that kind of deep work. I mean, I should say you don't have to. If you want to get through your day and feel accomplished, you can do that. If you want to really have deep, long-lasting, meaningful goals that help you stay consistent, if you struggle with being consistent, if you struggle with staying focused, it's in large part because you haven't done this deep work. And that's what I do with my clients. And so I encourage you to do that. But when you do that, when you have clearly identified goals, and they're tethered to things that you value, your core values, that's the kind of work that's going to position you for the best success. And let me just tell you, you're not going to be successful by doing, right? You're not going to be successful just by waking up, hitting the ground running, and running at 100 miles an hour. Like I said, getting 100 things done by the end of the day, going to sleep and doing it all over again. That's not how you find success, period. You have to stop. And like I've said many, many times, you have to do a productive pause. And again, that definition of a productive pause is a short period of focused reflection around specific questions that leads to clarity of action and peace of mind. Clarity of action and peace of mind. You have to hit the pause button, all right? And part of that pause button is right now. You're listening to this podcast and learning from this. And hopefully after this, you'll download the action plan, and then you'll hit the pause button, take out a pen and paper or type on a document and do some of this work that I'm going to tell you about here in a second here. This is a productive pause. So first thing, you've got to nail your morning routine, okay? This, for me, includes physical activity, includes a lot of water, includes some mindset training, some positive mindset work. I listen to the Success Hotline, Dr. Rob Gilbert. And if you want that, I actually interviewed him on episode 33. So if you just scroll back on your podcast player there and go to episode 33, you can find my episode with Dr. Rob Gilbert. But his Success Hotline phone number, I'll include this in the action plan so you don't have to try to write it down. But it's 973-743-5785. 888-848-4690. So that's Success Hotline with Rob Gilbert. Anyway, that's one of the things that I do in my morning routine. I know lots and lots of other people do this. Thousands of people listen to the Success Hotline, and it's just a great way to get your day started, a great way to put yourself in the right mindset, frame of mind, just one of those little things, right? Another thing I do is I recite my mantra, right? Again, this is not something that's going to make you 50% more productive. It's going to make you 3% more productive, right? Maybe 5% more productive that day. Just any one of these things by themselves. But when you start stacking them on top of one another, because you know all these things are the right thing to do, right? Drinking a lot of water when you wake up, physical activity, right? Mindset work, mantra. Like, you know this is the right stuff to do, right? You know any one of these is going to make you a little bit better. You start stacking these things on top of each other, it's really going to start compounding. And then you do it day after day after day. That's just compounding interest on your success. You're going to get more done. And, you know, I actually have a client who one of his things we've discovered, and everybody's unique, right? Everybody's different. So I want to give you this kind of cool thing that we learned. This is just through coaching and through conversations, right? With somebody who's fully invested in you, me and him, right? He came to realize that when he wakes up, he does like 100 push-ups every morning. But if he goes into a productivity task, right? If he wakes up and he gets right into something productive, like just in the house, like organizing, right? He'll, organize in the house or do, clean up the house. He'll organize his garage, clean up the yard, things like that. They put him in this state of productivity, right? You've probably heard about this great talk by this, military leader. I can't remember who it was exactly. I think it was University of Texas commencement speech. But he talked about making your bed. Make your bed every day. Wake up, make your bed. If you get nothing else done at the end of the day, you've at least made your bed, and you start out your day with this small win, right? When you have these small wins, they start compounding. They put you in the right mindset. So anyway, I encourage you, if there's something like that for you, maybe it's just cleaning up your desk at work. Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's loading or unloading the dishwasher. Whatever it is, right, that kind of gets you started off on the right way and the right foot. Put that into your morning routine. So that's one way to get to the end of your day feeling more accomplished. If you do any of those right there, you can stop this podcast episode. You'll have a more accomplished day. But we're not done. We got a long way to go here in terms of practical, actionable steps I'm going to give you that you can walk away with and start implementing today, not tomorrow. You can use these today. So that's kind of the first thing, is that morning routine, that routine to get yourself in the right mindset. Here's the next piece: planning your day in advance. You don't want to start your day reacting. That's why you go through the day feeling like you got 100 things done and you went 100 miles an hour, but you got nothing accomplished, is because you're reacting. You have to plan your day. And some days are easier than others, right? Some days you know that you are just going to have a lot of quiet time and you're going to get a lot done, right? Other days, you know that you have meetings all day and you're going to be able to only squeeze a couple things in here and there that are on your to-do list. But plan your day in advance. So I use a tool called Asana, Asana, and we can include that in the action plan too if you want. I'll just have that included in there, a link to Asana, or at least the name of the app. And for me, I can just, there's sort of three categories that it comes sort of default with. And it's today, upcoming, and later. And you can mark, I put everything in the upcoming bucket basically. And then I just move things from there into the today bucket for whatever I'm going to work on today. And if I want to be really productive, well, actually, let me say this first. If I know that I can't get much done today, then I will identify three things. If it's one of those days where I've just got meetings and phone calls and stuff like that all day long, then I'm going to say, okay, what are the three things I've got to get done today to win the day? How do I win the day? Like, what's important now? WIN, what's important now? Win the day. How do I win the day? And when you identify just those three things, you at least walk away at the end of the day knowing that you got all these meetings done, you got all this busy stuff done that you knew was coming at you, but you still won the day. You still got the most important things done. You moved the needle in the right areas. But with Asana, what I'll do is I'll drag everything up into the today category and I'll work on those. And so if you want to be really productive, you'll use something called the Nicotra method. All right. Now, I previously called this the motivational minute, or the motivated minute. I'm sorry. And I'm changing it to the Nicotra method. Here's why. I learned this from my brother-in-law, Steve Nicotra. Right. This is the one, the Steve Nicotra who just passed in December last year. But he taught this to me, and he learned it somewhere. He doesn't remember where. And I think it's kind of like the telephone game when a kid plays a game where they whisper in each other's ear and it comes back around. By the time it gets to the last person, it's like completely changed. I think this has changed a little bit because the way he kind of translated it to me, he said he did it a little different, and I do it a little bit different than he taught me. But this is it, essentially. You'll take everything that's on your to-do list for today. You'll write it down. And then you'll order it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, to up to whatever number it is, right, that you have on your to-do list for today. Then here's where the Nicotra method comes into play. You put your hand on your to-do list, right? You have a physical to-do list, and I keep an electronic to-do list. But when I really know I need to be laser productive, or if I'm just going to feel, not feeling locked in today, I'm going to write things out on a pen and paper. I'll put my hand on it, I'll close my eyes, and I will visualize myself throughout the day. I'll visualize myself getting distracted, then coming right back to my to-do list. I'll visualize myself getting a phone call, then going right back to my to-do list. I'll visualize myself getting distracted by email or my cell phone or a phone call or just some project that pops up that I wasn't expecting, and I go right back, right? There's no lag. That's one of the biggest things. Actually, one of my clients, John, pointed this out recently, is like that, he to win his day, he had told me he needed to really stay focused on moving from task to task, that no lag time in between, that downtime in between tasks, right? Where you check email, you check your phone, you check social media, you jump on the internet, right? And you go down a rabbit hole. But if you can really cut down on that time moving from task to task, you'll have a much more productive day, and you'll feel like you've gone through the day intentionally and move the needle, and you'll feel accomplished. So anyway, the Nicotra method, you put your hand on your list, you visualize, and you actually feel yourself. Here's the important part. If you do nothing else but this part of the Nicotra method, you'll get a lot out of it. Feel what it's going to feel like when you walk out of your workplace at the end of the day, or when you lay your head down on the pillow at night. Feel what that's going to feel like. What is that productive? You've had those days before. What does that feel like? I want you to feel that. Because whenever you feel that, it puts yourself in that productive mindset, right? So you want to feel, just like an athlete has to visualize victory, and it puts them in that mindset of I've already run this race, I've already wrestled this match, I've already played this game. It puts them in that mindset of like, I've already done this, and the foregone conclusion, the outcome here is I win, right? I'm successful, and it's the same thing here. So really visualize and feel that success that you have here, and you'll have a great. That's a huge technique that I use, especially. I don't use that every day, but man, it's an awesome tactic to have in your toolbox. So I encourage you to try that one, the Nicotra method. Now, in terms of organizing and planning your day, in terms of what to do first, this is important. A lot of people wonder, okay, what do I do first? There's the eat the frog method, right? Which is, do the hard thing first. I disagree with that. Here's why. You need to create momentum. Momentum is real. You've got to put 2 or 3 or 5 things at the beginning of your to-do list that are going to give you the momentum to feel like you're being productive, right? If you dive right into this big nebulous task, it's a hard lift. Just like at the beginning of a workout, you don't max out. You don't do max deadlift at the very beginning of your workout. You're going to warm up first. I'm part of this group called F3, F as in Frank 3. I love F3. There's 3 or 4 groups now right here in Charlottesville. It's free. It's a free workout for men. Check it out. Check out f3nation.com for those of you interested. It's for men. There's also a sister group that started up for women. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But anyway, in F3, we wake up every Monday mornings at 5:30 in the morning. We go to the local elementary school, meet in the parking lot, rain, snow, shine, whatever, and we do a workout. Boot camp style workout, but we always start out with warm-up exercises. Go figure, right? We don't do the hardest thing first. You want to get a little warm-up You want to get your body ready, just like you want to get your mind ready in terms of productivity and having an accomplished day. So put the little things, the easy things at the beginning. If you've ever heard of Dave Ramsey, he's just a personal finance guru. Well, he kind of goes against conventional wisdom there too. The conventional wisdom is pay off your highest interest rate loans first. And he says that's wrong. It's the wrong way to go about it. Pay off your smallest loans first. That's his philosophy. And the reason why is because it creates what? Momentum. And it's the same thing with every day, right? You want to create that momentum. So here's another tactic for you, is the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro. Google it and you can learn more about it. There's timers, but basically it's this, right? It's 25 minutes of high productivity, no undisturbed. You don't answer the phone. You don't check your email. You don't check text messages or social media. You're locked in, high productivity. This works especially well on those days where I just can't stay locked in. I just can't stay focused. Use the Pomodoro technique, because you'll basically be telling yourself, all I'm asking myself right now is 25 minutes, right? And set the timer for whatever you want, 15 minutes, right? Half an hour. It doesn't matter, the number really. But this allows you to really lock in for a short amount of time, knowing that it's going to be over in 25 minutes. And then you can go get a cup of coffee or go to the bathroom or go get a snack or check your text messages or whatever the case might be. But the Pomodoro technique is great. Now, I actually have a download that has 18 different ways to get and stay focused. And so you can check out, if you just download the action plan, you're going to get access to all of the action plans from every single episode I've ever done, from episode 1 through now. Plus there's a bunch of other bonus content right in there. And one of them is 18 ways to get and stay focused. So there's actually some more tactics in there in terms of how to stay focused. And now, listen, you may want to plan to feel accomplished at the end of your day. You may want to feel accomplished in terms of checking stuff off your to-do list at work, or maybe it's your honey-do list at home, right? Things around the house or just personal things. It may be around your health, right? It may be around all of these things kind of mushed into one to-do list, which kind of is mine a lot of times. And if that's the case, you can break this down the way one of my clients says it, into the 4 ways that we sort of set goals: is relationships, self, health, and wealth. And you can structure your day that way, right? What do I want? What do I need to do to feel accomplished by the end of the day? What do I need to do in each of these categories? And I'm actually creating my Reveal Your Path journal, the Pathfinder's journal, right now. I've got to revise it right now. I had my assistant actually create it, and I've got to get in there and do some revisions before I make it public. But I'm actually going to use my my Reveal Your Path Pro clients. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to allow them to be the guinea pigs, and they're gonna get first access to it. And that's anybody who's ever been through Reveal Your Path, and now they're pro clients, and they're into one of the ongoing programs. They're going to get first access. So it's pretty awesome. Been talking about this for years. I've had notes on this for years. I'm finally getting the boots on the ground and making the rubber meet the road. Whatever other cliches you want to use there in making this happen. So if you are interested in learning about Reveal Your Path, just grab a time on my calendar, jimharshawjr.com/apply. Now, I also want to mention this. I've made one of my goals for 2019 is to serve more people. And I love what I do. I've got a lot of great paying clients. And I know there's people out there who either don't want to pay or they can't afford to pay. So I want to make myself as available as possible. Obviously, my time is very limited, but one of the things I'm doing is I'm making a free new opportunity available to work with me. It's a group type program. It's not even a program really, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I'm inviting you to join us, but I'm not going to tell you what it is unless you email me. So if you shoot me an email, jim@jimharshawjr.com, I'll tell you. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm only allowing people, I vet anybody who I ever let into any of my programs as it is. And I'm going to vet anybody who comes into this program as well. So you have to at least be willing to take action enough to shoot me an email to find out what it is, to get an invitation, get your personal invite to it. But anyway, that's Jim at jimharshawjr.com if you want to check that out. And it's going to help you get consistent, help you get focused, help you feel more accomplished at the end of your day. So if you got value from this episode, if you learned, if you have some tactics in mind that you want to start applying, again, give this a share. You can also go to jimharshawjr.com/share. Man, I'm offering you a bunch of links today, aren't I? jimharshawjr.com/share makes it super easy to share this on social media. So that is always appreciated. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have other episodes, other ideas and things, you're like, man, Jim, I just want you to talk about this, send it to me. I look forward to hearing from you. I love getting the feedback. I get so much awesome feedback, and so I want to hear from you. If I haven't heard from you, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you through email. I want to hear from you on social media and otherwise. So I look forward to that. And as always, until next time, take the time to get clear on your goals and embrace failure as a stepping stone on your path to success.